this is something I'm actually really excited about. For anybody who knows me and of course has been following my channel, I'm a huge Game of Thrones fan. Game of Thrones, my opinion, the greatest show. Period. Followed up, of course, by Breaking Bad, which is it's a tight race, but Game of Thrones is the ball, man. And I've enjoyed the spin-offs, you guys know I enjoy House of Dragons, but I absolutely loved A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. But news broke here that, of course, a Game of Thrones movie is officially in the works. Um, at Warner Brothers from Andor writer. So that's a really really interesting take. But what is this movie going to be about? Well, the world of Game of Thrones could finally be heading to the big screen. Warner Brothers is officially developing a movie set in George R. R. Martin's fantasy world with writer Beau Willimon, who wrote on Andor as well as House of Cards. Both great shows, really. Both great shows. The news was first teased at The Hollywood Reporter's recent cover story profile of Martin, which revealed that both HBO and Warner Brothers Films' diverse division were working on rival versions of a story of King Aegon, the first Targaryen's conquest of Westeros. As we reported, the film's version is being envisioned as a mammoth Dune-sized feature film. Now, Page Six Hollywood first broke the news on Willimon's involvement. I butchered his name to begin with, Willimon. Of course, everything Warner Brothers is a bit up in the air given the studio's expected sale to Warner Brothers Skydance, but Paramount boss David Ellison was recently asked if his favorite HBO show and cited Game of Thrones, which is obviously a good sign for both the uh, perspective film and for the future of HBO's many prequels and sequels in the works. So, the idea of a Thrones movie has been kicked around as early as 2013, which was with the original showrunner David Benioff and Dave Wise pitched HBO on potentially ending the blockbuster series with three feature films. That would have been pretty cool. HBO balked at the idea, however, preferring instead to stay focused on their core subscription business. HBO has other shows in the work as well, such as an animated take on the sea snake character. Those would be in addition to HBO's two Game of Thrones shows currently on the air, House of Dragons and, of course, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. And both, we got, of course, House of Dragons coming up here in June. Night of the Seven Kingdoms is already planning for their season 2. But, man, they're going to finally do a movie about the conquest of Aegon Targaryen and uniting the Seven Kingdoms, or pretty much taking over the Seven Kingdoms. Let's just be real. Man, that is going to be a really cool story. It's going to be pivotal who they pick to play Aegon Targaryen. I know they talked about rumors of like a Henry Cavill, possibly, that's not a bad idea. But man, a Dune-sized feature film. I mean, that's the only way to do it, right? It's the only way to do it. You're gonna have, of course, the flashbacks, which is just with the destroying of Valeria, and of course them going to Dragonstone, and then they're gonna go take their dragons and go to the Seven Kingdoms and unite everybody. So this is gonna be really really fun. I'm pumped for it, man. And then if I enjoyed Andor as well. I know a lot of people loved Andor. There were some really great moments in Andor. There was my one. I'll be honest with you. I mean, before I go any further, I know this is off topic a little bit. My one knock on Andor is there was just some characters that they just introduced, like, no, you don't give a fuck about. Like who the fuck? Like who the fuck is like I don't care about that Cyril guy or that one Nazi girl. I don't care about they're just characters you just don't give a shit about, right? But other than that, I thought it was well done. It was probably one of the best things Star Wars has done for sure. But getting back to the topic here, so Andor writer, you're gonna get that grittiness, which is fits Game of Thrones to the T. If they can make it almost like Game of Thrones season one, yeah, you're gonna have the theatrics because you're gonna have the dragons, right? There are gonna be a bunch of dragons, to be honest. There are gonna be a bunch of them. You're gonna see his sister, you're gonna see his sisters, you're gonna see a lot of different characters. You're gonna see his brothers. You're gonna see his children. So it's all gonna be super fun, man. I'm curious how long is it gonna be? It's gonna be 2.5 hours, 3 hours long, right? Dune was about 2 hours and 40 minutes. I think both of them were, right? The first Dune wasn't as long, but the second Dune was about 2 hours and 45 minutes. So I think I think this is going to work out, man. But I try to be optimistic, guys. I try to be optimistic. But let me know what you guys think, man. Do you think this is going to work out? You think this is going to be shit? Let me know in the comments below. But I'm excited for it. I think that they finally were like, all right, we got to do this. We got to do this, and I think they found a good writer to do it. So this let's see. But go ahead and subscribe to the channel for more The Real G.